Hey everyone, we're starting a new topic in Math 15.1, Geometry, and we are going to begin with describing quadrilaterals. So before we can even get started, what is a polygon? A polygon is another word for a shape, and it's not just any shape, okay? It's a closed shape with all straight sides or edges that have vertices or corners. So on this side, you can see all the examples where they have a straight edge or a side, and there are corners, clear corners. These are not polygons because this is not closed. It's an open shape. This is a three-dimensional shape, and what we're going to be focusing on is two-dimensional, so they're flat. This is curved, the circular, same with this one, so they are not qualified as being polygons. We are specifically looking at quadrilateral, which means four sides. Quad, if you break it down, is four, and lateral means sides. So the word is quadrilateral. Okay, and that is a two-dimensional shape that is closed with straight sides. They have four vertices with angles that add up to 360 degrees. So here are all different examples of quadrilaterals. And if you counted all the sides on each of these shapes, you'll see that they all have four sides.
Great, let's get started. Jada, have you seen these shapes before? Of course I have. That's a square and that's a rectangle. That's right, but did you know they have another name? They're both also called quadrilaterals. I didn't know that. A quadrilateral is any polygon or closed shape that has four sides. We already know that some quadrilaterals have other names, like a square and a rectangle. These special names have to do with their sides and angles. What are the different types of quadrilaterals? Good question, Jada. Let's take a look at all of them. The first is a parallelogram. We know it's a parallelogram because the opposite sides are equal and parallel. A rectangle sides are equal and parallel too. Great point. That's our next quadrilateral. A rectangle is a type of parallelogram whose angles are all right angles. That makes sense. What's next? Next is a quadrilateral called a rhombus. A rhombus is a parallelogram with four equal sides. A square has four equal sides. Right again. Just like a rectangle is a type of parallelogram, a square is a type of rhombus. It's a rhombus with all right angles. Now for our last quadrilateral. I know that one, a trapezoid. Right, this one has exactly one pair of parallel sides. I see quadrilaterals all over the place. This book's cover is a rectangle. You can see quadrilaterals everywhere. What about this tabletop? A trapezoid. Great work today, everyone.
This is a summary where these are the special types of quadrilaterals. A rectangle is where all angles are 90 degrees. They make a perfect square in the corner here, and is a special kind of parallelogram. There is two pairs of parallel lines. A square is where all angles are 90 degrees with the right angles or square corners, and all sides are exactly the same length. A square is also considered a rhombus or a special parallelogram with all sides are the same. A rhombus is where all sides are the same length also, okay? However, they do not require that the corners or the angles here are right angles. That's why a square can be a rhombus, but a rhombus cannot be a square. Parallelogram is where two pairs of parallel sides, they are opposite sides, the same length, and the same size. Okay, so you could say a rectangle is also a parallelogram. A square is also a parallelogram. A rhombus is also a parallelogram. Okay, but a trapezoid cannot be a parallelogram because it only has exactly one pair of parallel lines or sides that never cross. So if you were to follow these on the side, they would eventually cross and make some kind of X. But these two parallel lines, okay, this is a pair of parallel lines, never cross. So think, how can you describe quadrilaterals? They are polygons with straight sides. There are 4 sides on them and 4 angles. And when you think about the angles right here, there were 2 sides of a polygon meet right here, okay? And the point that they meet is called a vertex. When there is more than one vertex, we call them vertices. That's the plural word. Sides are what make this shape, and sides can also be called edges. From here, you're going to head into the activities. Use these instructional pages that are provided in the Google Slides for help, and you should do really well as kind of a refresher on geometry having to do with quadrilaterals.